What's up, everybody? This is Jerid from Echo Blades, and you're listening to the Triple T podcast for knife makers. As always, I have my co host, Dennis Terrell from Terrell Knife Works. How the hell are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. Had a great weekend. Very productive. What about you? What'd you do all weekend?
Shit. I actually had a weekend in the shop. I'm fired up from getting something done rather than nothing. So it was good.
Good.
Yeah.
What was the something? Come on, keep me in
Oh, my.
suspense.
Well, shit. So today I had my buddy Derek from Miles Knife and Tool. Guys, go check him out. Newer maker. Good dude. Solid dude. He came over and he wanted to heat treat some ABL knives for the first time. So I got to do that with him. And we tried out the rapid quench
Oh yeah.
system. That was its maiden voyage. And really cool. Um, Still got a lot to learn with using it because it still gets hot as shit. Even though the air is blowing out, I think I did too many knives too fast in a row. But and then when we put it together, I had a little bit of a like a flop of the plate on what side of the vise that it goes on. The way we mounted it, we had to replace some screws for a little more depth or longer, I should say. And something went wrong. So one of the I think we stripped the threads on there. Anyways, it came loose. It wasn't a catastrophe because everything got back in place and we were able to continue on heat treating. But lessons learned, experiences, stories to tell. That's what it's all about.
So between I don't know, besides what Brian showed us in the shop, I don't know a ton about those. Like I know you put the air on while you got the blade in them. Between blades, are you supposed to run the air through them to cool them down? Like, is there a
Uh,
video on this to how to use them?
no, I'm not aware of one. But my compressor was all day long the whole time we were doing it. It definitely took it to the capacity. But it's still, I mean, we were heat gunning it, and the first couple it stayed somewhere around 70, 80 degrees, and then it kind of started getting warm.
Hmm.
So I did a little bit of both. I put some ice on them. I left the air running for a while. I switched to my old um, quench
Plates.
plate system to kind of break it up a little bit. But
Cool.
yeah, it
But you got it done?
definitely, yeah, yeah, we got them done, and it definitely, it's a lot easier than just getting the old air hose out and blowing it on there. So
Nice. How many
it
how
was
many
cool.
total knives did you do?
We did 8.
8.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Uh,
I figured out that I never want to use the foil packets again. So Caldora, here I come.
no. Uh, Condursal.
Same thing.
Yeah.
The hell.
You got one letter right.
It'll forever be Condura, whatever the hell Condura is.
Oh. Oh, well, that's good. Good. I taught a class all weekend, which was a great class. I got to say, um, it was first time I've taught a class for a woman, and she did great. Like, I think the knife that came out of this class, and her husband has already taken a class with me, so he might be listening. So don't take this the wrong way. But I think that knife that she made is the best one to come out of a class that I've done.
Boom.
Boom, like mic drop. It was she really got the I learned a few things today, meaning how to teach. Like, and it's great because it's going to be in my upcoming video when I do grinding on the beginner series knife. We'll talk about that in a bit. But I saw the light go on in her face when she was doing the grinding. And if I show you the knife, I don't have it obviously, but the grinds are awesome.
That's cool.
For someone who has never ground a knife before, the edge was probably at maybe 20 thousandths thick.
That's awesome.
The whole blade. And
That's awesome.
no facet. Like, I was like blown away. But there's some tips that things that I thought to tell her while she was doing it, because I could see her doing a mistake, and then see her reaction and her success was very rewarding for me today. So I
So
was
she was
really,
able
really
to
happy.
like receive the
Yeah,
corrections and apply them, and
exactly. That's what,
that's
like,
cool.
I'm like, I saw her go up to the belt on like a very steep angle, like she was going to put another facet in the blade, and I said, no, don't do this. And I basically told her, this is where she's whatever, she's going right to left, or she's using her left hand, so with her thumb. And I'm like, okay, push with your thumb and then let go with the other hand, because she kept on wanting to tilt the blade into the grinder.
Mm.
So I said, put the blade on against the belt, let go, so you're only pushing in the center with your thumb. It has no choice but to be on that flat facet. And then pick up the blade with two fingers and then pull it along. And you'll make no pressure. And that just, and I could see her do it. I could see her let go with her hand and then pick it up again and then slide it. And it was phenomenal watching her do it. And it was cool. I was very happy. It was a really good looking blade.
It's probably because she didn't give a shit. She just was doing it.
Yeah.
I think no nerves, maybe she just, no apprehension, no, just whatever happens, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
boom. That's cool, man.
Yeah. It was fun weekend. So, and she was done early. Um, we even made a leather sheath. Like, that's how quickly she went through the class. We had time to do a leather sheath for her knife. So that doesn't happen very often.
Cool.
Yeah. It's
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of leather sheaths, I got I had forgot, but I had ordered some leather, I think 8 to 10 ounce or something. I was talking to you about it, and it came, and I just put it over to the side because leather's something that we did that one time, and I ended up selling that knife with the sheath.
Hmm.
So my example is gone. Because like I don't know. I learned a lot by having something that I've done, whether it's phenomenal or really shitty. Like, I can remember the process, remember
Yep.
the little things, the steps and everything, but when it's gone, my retention is whoop. So, um, but Derek ended up bringing me some leather himself, which is really cool. Thank you so much. That was awesome. Um, and a couple other cool little things, a little I'm not going to be able to describe this, but like a little holder for the tooling things,
Oh,
the
really?
stamps. Yeah, so it's got its own little oh shit. It's got its own little holder, so each individual one goes in there. That was pretty cool. And then we at the end we were waiting for, because our my cryo is to stick the knives in the freezer, and the um shit, it's gone. I think someone's behind me.
Hi, Jerid.
Yeah, what's up,
Jerid
Jared?
Jr.
um, what was I saying? So okay, so we were doing the thing. We had some time to kill while the knives were in my cryo, my doer, aka freezer.
Your poor man doer.
Yeah, the poor man doer. And so I've been thinking about and talking about doing a prototype for the Intrepid, and I want to do one for the thicker clipper that I got. So we messed around, and Derek's done some really good leather work, and he kind of we just laid it out and did a little prototype, and no stitching, no dyeing, no glue, no nothing.
Oh, you
Held it
did it with
together
rivets.
with Chicago screws,
Oh, okay, cool.
because the eyelets I have for Kydex weren't tall enough, But I was able to put the little ulti clip on there,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. I'm gonna mess around with it and see it and go.
Did
But
you
then it
burnish the
all
edge
started.
too?
Tried it very very quickly. I mean, we did it. We just threw it together real quick. But that's why I was saying like everything that we did, all the processes and shit started coming back to me, and then I realized why it's cool, and then it's not cool because there's a lot of shit you got to do. And we
I
didn't
gotta,
die, like I said, we didn't diet or anything, so no cement. So all those kind of steps were just like going in and out. And I'm like,
yeah.
shit, I got a lot to learn there.
I gotta make another sheath for a buddy this week. So maybe if we hook up, you can watch that one.
Yeah, no, I'm into that because
Cool,
I have a
cool.
mega fuck ton of leather. I feel like right now from what I bought and what he gave me. So
Yeah,
lots of things to mess up.
I had a double shoulder that I ordered that I realized today was the first time I cut into it. So I got a shit ton of leather too. So
Nice.
yeah.
Question for you:
Yeah.
we're heat treating the AEBL,
Hmm.
so I have everything programmed into my even heat, the tap controller. Is it necessary to normalize that? Like
You
I've
mean
been going
like
back and
anneal it?
forth. Yeah,
Like the annealment?
normalize, anneal it. Yeah, like I keep going back and forth because for stock removal, you know, it's kind of necessary. I mean, the way I understand it from my time with the interwebs and Mister Doctor Laren is that when you anneal it, you increase its hardenability through that
Yeah.
process, but there's no grain refinement or thermal cycling
No.
needed, right?
Well, here's the deal. So in the AEBL that I got from, and I don't think it matters where you get it, but last time I got it from Lawrence, when I was the video I was testing the condursal. So I
Condor.
just
Sorry, I'm sorry.
dickhead. Um, I that recording that took me forever because I actually thought I would shortcut it, not do the annealment, and then when I tested the with condursal with foil, I was getting radically different measurements, and I think it was because it wasn't. One of the factors was it wasn't annealed. And after I annealed it first, I was getting much more consistent readings on the HRC. So now I'm of a mind of I'm always going to anneal them. And now, especially when I have like water jet blanks, when I have
Yeah,
some free time, I just throw, you know, 3 or 4 of them, whatever, in the oven and after the condursal, anneal them, set them aside, put them in a pile, and I just write on them annealed. Uh, so I'm just now in a habit of doing that so that they don't. I've got them all annealed, and I don't have to worry about it.
that is very efficient, Mr. Tyrell.
Hey, try to be.
That is very efficient. I wish I had that ability to forward think that way. And I only say that because, dude came over and we were, going to heat treat. I had some things that I wanted to do as well, but I didn't really think about it. That shit takes a long time
Yeah,
for AEBL. It's a while. That
and
whole
you.
process.
And the nice thing is for the annealment, you can put like 8 or 10 of them in there. You don't need. So I do a whole batch of like annealing because you don't need to put it in the. You're not putting them in the plates or anything like that. So anneal all the ones that you have. If again, I'm because I got a bunch of water jet, right? I'll
Right.
anneal all the ones that I have in one batch,
Yeah.
so I don't have to screw with it later. I know they're done. Then I'll be ready.
Yeah.
Think ahead, Jerid. Think
I
ahead.
tried. I tried. And now, do you know what else I didn't think about was trying to pull 8 packets out and hang them in midair with like an anti-gravity room because I didn't have clamps and like places. It was a fuck. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Uh,
We were
yeah, that's
ripping
what.
rubber off of clamps and shit to pinch the foils, and it was interesting.
And that's why I'm a big fan of the condursal because all my knives have holes in them anyway.
Yeah.
So then I can just hang them anywhere. I hang them on the little hooks. It's a lot easier. And now with the instead of using foil on the little EDCs, I can heat treat 2 of those at the same time because they don't take up room in. I could almost do 3 in the plates because
Oh shit. I was like, what are you talking about? I
there's
got
no
you. Yeah.
foil
Okay.
taking up extra room, right? So you could just slide 3 of them in there and then heat treat them.
That's yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
the
I had to phone a friend about trying to heat treat 2 in a pack, and I was discussing, um, they should be identical if you're going to put them in the pack together, right?
Why? Why?
Well, because if they hang over, you get, some
Oh,
warp, you get, I mean, it's
yeah,
just like it's
you mean
the
length.
consistency.
Like they don't need to be identical knives. You just mean they need to be about the
I
same
think they
length.
should be identical knives, but yeah, I mean, closer to, the same. But again, your preferences, processes to each his own type of thing. But I couldn't convince myself that that was a good thing to try. Because he's just there to try to get them done. But yeah, the whole foil package and trying
It
to
takes
get the
for
right size fucking pack, dude. My
it takes
God.
forever to fold those things. And not to mention the razor blade that is the
Oh
edge of
yeah.
those foil packs. And
Yeah. I got
I've heard Fader talk about it. He doesn't mind it. I'm like, I fucking hate it. I hate doing those foil packs. And you're not supposed to reuse them because they break down and all that. So you're making a new one for every blade. I'm like, that's bullshit. The Condursal takes a quarter, not even like a tenth of the time, because I could just use a heat gun and dry it off. So it's very economical and quick.
yeah, no.
Your shop does smell like paint fumes for days, but
That's all
um,
I get these days.
that's
I'll
your
take it.
entertainment.
That's my entertainment. Yeah. I'm getting a little fuzzy.
Oh,
That's good.
uh, so before we go on, I want to send out a couple of big thank yous. Um,
Absolutely.
all of the it is astounding to me the feedback and the mentions of our podcast that we've had. So hustle and grind, full blast, like 2 episodes. Jeff has called us out and told people to listen. I'm super thankful. Uh, Jerid just about had a conniption after hearing his name on Knife Talk.
For
Uh,
real.
um, ForgeSideChat, WFI. I'm sure I'm forgetting some others, but thank you everybody for giving us some love, and it's been amazing. I can't believe it.
Absolutely. 100%. Just absolutely overwhelmed. Super grateful. It's awesome to have, the good feedback, but just the support, to feel like there's guys in your corner. Because I swear, I never woke up and thought I'd be sitting here talking and having other people listen to me. So, and to hear my fucking full name is weird, guys. It's fucking weird. And I don't know if I'll get used to it, but Jerid Sandoval, I'm like, whoa, am I going to the fucking principal's office or something? Like I feel like I'm in trouble, but it's
Yeah,
super
that's when
cool.
your mom calls you and uses your full name. You know you're in trouble.
Yeah, but I'm like, I'm used to, hey, a Jerid from Echo Blades here and there, but yeah, it's been really awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, even having who was it, Noah, busted my balls about how complicated the email was, which
Yeah,
I
and
agree. I I agree.
Noah, I said the same shit to him.
Okay, we're ditching the email, and my boy Jerid here has created an IG account because I refuse to. So he is going to be the master of the IG account. So tell everybody what the podcast Instagram account is.
Well, if I could remember it, that would be awesome. But no, it's the dot triple T podcast on
Nice.
IG. So I haven't pushed it out yet, but I will. And shit, just from creating it, we got a few followers already. So but yeah, that's where we'll make it easy for the rest of the world to talk instead of trying to pull out your Enigma deciphering code to figure out that fucking
Oh man.
Shit.
Now
I
people
mean,
are gonna go to the show notes and look up the email and start sending us hate mail.
I sure hope they will, because that would be awesome. Because if they do, then they would have found the U-boat. Because that shit was
Okay.
okay.
All
All
right,
right.
fine.
Thank you.
Um, so what? So we got to mention Blade Show Texas, even though neither of us went.
Yeah.
Um, the, a, l- a little bit of FOMO, little bit. I'm seeing all the pictures, wishing I would have gone, but knowing I couldn't, I didn't really want to spend the money to go this year. Um, for me, this was a thing that I used to do with my son. The last 2 years, I would take Parker to Blade Show, Texas. So some of you have met my son, Parker. This year, Parker's coming to Atlanta. So I kind of thought maybe I'll save some money and not go to Texas, but some FOMO did kick in. I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, it looked like a good time. I totally meant to put a post out wishing everybody good luck and all our boys out there doing their thing. It looked great. I've never been to the show. It's the only one that I haven't been to, but I hear it's a really good show. It's a good time. So I'm hoping everybody killed it, and maybe next year.
Yeah, it is a good show, and there's Texas, a lot of good old boys in Texas, a lot of the masters in Texas, and um, a lot of people go to that show. I think like the Utah show, yeah, there was a couple Mastersmiths, but there's a shit ton of Mastersmiths at the Texas show every year. So if you're thinking about testing for journeyman and you want to show people knives, that's a great show to go to because you go there, show people knives. You still got 4 months to fix up all the screw ups in your knives or make new knives before Blade Show Atlanta.
Right.
So that's always my advice to people is go to Blade Texas to get feedback.
Oh, good tip. Good tip. I'm kind of bummed because I'll be in the Fort Worth, Dallas area in I think 3 weeks. So I just missed it for
Yeah.
work, and I'll be there for a week. And but whatever, tough shit.
There's I love that there's a little downtown area which is like a block, 2 blocks from where the convention center is, and it's one of those um it's a section of the road that you can't drive cars on. It's like just walking only, and really cool. Maybe it was just closed that no, I don't remember. No, I think it is closed to traffic. But it's cool though. They have bands out there. We were sitting out there at night having a drink or some food, and there was band playing. It was really cool.
Yeah, I sent some of my guys from work for training. Our AFSA facility is out there, and so I've got a couple of scouting reports for things to go check out when uh when I go in a couple weeks. So I'm stoked.
Nice. Cool, cool. Um, so what else is going on? What
I got another random question.
oh yeah?
Yep. So I was messing around on the interwebs, Facebook, and on the that big I never remember beginner bladesmiths or bladesmithing for
Bladesmithing for
beginners.
beginners? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that one. And somebody asked if they should heat up gator piss and ferric.
I've heard
And
that I don't do it, but I've seen people do it, and it will etch faster. That's just science, right? It will etch faster if you heat it up.
okay,
I don't do it because it seems like a pain in the ass to me. Because you'd have to put it on like a heating element somehow, or I don't know. It just seems complicated to me to be heated up. I guess you could
the little
put something
wand
in the
thing
oven
and
and yeah,
right.
immerse it or something like that, but I don't know. It goes fast enough
Yeah.
without doing it, but if you want it to go faster, I guess you could heat it. And I have seen posts of people that do.
Yeah, I just could I've never seen it, and I was like, maybe I should tell this. And then I started reading the comments. And I was like, well, I'm a dumbass because I don't know anything about this. There were some well-known makers saying that that's part of their process, and I was like, well, I never thought of it. I just put the bubbler in now, since I'm
Yeah.
a fucking expert because I just found out what an oxide was last week.
I love it. I guess you could get a little hot plate. Like what I want to get, especially for videos, which I can't believe it's this many years I haven't gotten one, is a clear cylinder so that you can see it, right? Just for videos and stuff. But I have seen people take like a 6-inch, 4-inch, whatever, like a flower vase or something like that, a vase,
I'll send you a link.
and put it on a little hot plate and heat it. And
Oh,
even
okay.
take one of those little spinny things that the scientists use that drop on the bottom. It spins around. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And heat it at the same time, and and creates a little whirlpool at the top, a little cool effect.
Okay.
Yeah, be good for videos, but
I don't know. There's something that you can, like a clear tube that has a heating element in it that you could put in
oh
to
yeah,
heat shit up too. I've heard when I was looking to find a way to heat the quench oil, and then I
that
was
would
like, yeah,
work. It's like a cool aquarium heater kind
something
of
like
thing.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Who knew
Oh.
aquarium shit's all good for knife making? I use the aquarium bubbler for my for
Yeah,
the
I use one of those submersible pumps when I do the water cooled quench plates.
oh yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, so I got to tell you, another piece of FOMO. So because Jerid had one, I had to order an
Mhm,
induction
mhm,
forge.
mhm,
it
mhm.
comes tomorrow.
You can't ever just let me be.
um
Oh, that's awesome.
because we were talking about it a while ago, and to be fair, remember I told you I asked Chris Powell for the link about a week ago, and then you told me that you bought one, and so have we talked about it on here that you bought one? You were thinking of, yeah,
Yeah,
we said
it was
last week,
last
yeah,
week.
last
Yeah,
week, yeah.
yeah.
um so literally I guess it was Friday night, I'm lying in bed, I can't sleep, and I want an induction forge, and I'm trying to I think I'm like dreaming up literally dreaming up an excuse for myself to buy one. And then I think, wait a second. It gets so hot here in the summer. I can't teach classes. I'm literally was not planning on teaching any classes between July and September, because no one in their right mind wants to stand in front of a forge when it's 100 degrees outside. Like, everyone is going to be hating life in that course. And then I thought, man, if I get an induction forge, I can close the shop door, turn the air conditioning on, and Jerid's pointing at himself, like taking all the credit here. Um, Dick. Um, I could close the door, use the induction forge for the class. Of course, yes, they're not gonna learn about using an actual forge. Okay, tough cookies. If you want to learn that, come back in October. But at least I'll be able to teach classes in the summer. And that was like the epiphany. The next morning, I woke up and I'm like, screw it, I'm buying the induction forge. And
Yeah.
by the way, I did buy the chiller already. It's coming Tuesday.
Oh, well, we can't all be like Mr. Tyrell here. All right. Mine's still in the box. It'll be there for a while. I gotta wheel and deal on the chiller portion, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was funny. I put a post out of the box and did the old sevens thing. What's in the box? What's in the box? And I can't remember. I think it was I'm so bad. Luke Crafty Man, he was like, we listen to the podcast, dude. We know what's in the box. And
You're not fooling anybody.
I was like, that's fucking awesome, man. That's really cool. I was trying to surprise people. But yeah. Well, cool.
Cool.
I'm stoked.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to, now. I had the problem, I guess a month and a half ago. I was starting to like run out of ideas for Triple T's videos. Now
Yeah.
they're racking up. Now I got too many and I can't get them out fast enough because I still got to do some videos on the lathe because they gave me a deal on that lathe, and I feel like I
Right.
got to do some videos on the lathe. I got to do this one. I get it's now I have the beginner series racking up. So yeah,
Well, those are good things.
yeah,
Those are
exactly.
good
They're
things.
good things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. That's cool.
So hey, I got a topic. I'm gonna borrow some thunder from a lot of the knife making podcasts have been talking about what what is art, what's considered art. And the first one I heard it chronologically was on Fire and Steel, and they were talking about what is. Sorry, it wasn't. Who was it? Shit, it wasn't Fire and Steel. Um, Now I forget. Was it Hustle and Grind? Anyway, now I forget. I think it was Fire and Steel. And they had somebody on, and they were asking about what is knife making considered an art? Is it
Hmm.
artwork? Can knives can be considered artwork? And then Jeff Fader has his opinion. Jeff, I'm going to disagree with you. Get ready, buckle up.
Hot take.
Um,
Hot take. Ladies and
I'm
gentlemen, the hot take from Dennis Terrell coming
I'm
at
going to
you.
give you my definition of why I think knives can be considered art. And I guess it's a different opinion. If you're doing production knives and you're making 50, 70, 80, 100, maybe they don't feel like art to you, right? Or you're making the same knife over and over. But for me, and I'll be honest, I probably 70% of the knives I make, I expect are sitting on a shelf. They are purchased to sit on a shelf and be admired. Okay. If someone is purchasing something from me to sit on a shelf to look at it, then I consider it art. They're not
Sure.
buying, of course, it's functional, but they're buying it because they like the look of it and they want to put it on a shelf and they want to look at it. Isn't
Well,
that
dude,
the definition of art?
it's got copper in it, so it's not, you know.
it's, it's not a real knife.
It's not real life. Yeah.
What's your take on this?
So my take is probably going to be a little okay. So as I've said before, making knives prior to this whole journey, like I had never really done anything with my hands, created, all this stuff. So, you know, I guess this question personally is probably near and dear to me because this is the first time in my entire life that I believe I've been able to express myself in a form of creating something, which I will choose to say art. And however that is, right? I mean, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, all the whole cliche things. But, you know, uh, do I think anything I'm making belongs in a museum? No. Do I believe that, how much time it takes to actually learn a craft of art, painting, all the, the mainstream or I'd say historically considered art type things, taking nothing away from all the people that invest their lifelong, passions in creating and doing things. But for me, for this little simpleton, um, I do believe that knife making has allowed me to express myself in an artistic way, artisan, like prior to 2021, that was not something I could say. I mean, for making things. I mean, I play music. I've done different types of things, but this is the first time where I can pick something up and hand it or show and, and express or see, my work in it. So I think it is. Boom.
All
Done.
right. All right, done. That's my point because if and whether other people consider it art, maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe I
Fuck
think
them.
it's art, but I think it's even it even trumps it if someone is buying what you think is art and they're buying it and putting it on a shelf and looking at it. It's got to be art, right? Isn't that the definition? I should like look up the definition of art. Like, what is it?
I almost intended to, but I figured that's stupid. That's like doing research before you buy
Yeah,
things.
that's bullshit.
Yeah,
Nobody
it's
does
not
that.
me. Yeah.
All right. So we
But
put that one to bed. Everyone else is wrong. We're right.
sure. I love that stance.
Oh man. The other thing I was going to do and I forgot, like in the vein of doing research, is I was going to put together uh, because, and I'm sure Mr. Owner Kaglar, and a bunch of the other guys in the Viking Challenge, we can all relate to my next topic, which is YouTube comment of the week. And there are there's some doozies out there. Unfortunately, I'm not prepared enough to actually have written one down or taken a screenshot of one, but
Blah, blah, blah.
I know. But that we're going to do as a bit coming up. So I'm going to make sure every time I see one every week or even because all you people out there, all 12 of you that are listening, if you do a dumb comment to a YouTuber, they might snap it and use it against you later. Because I know in the Viking Challenge, all of us, we have a channel that is basically we just post other people's dumb comments to us, and then we all laugh at you. But I'm sure no one listening to our podcast would ever do that. But you never know. So I'll make that a bit next time of
I have an alias when I troll you guys.
ass.
That's great.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, those are awesome. Owner, I think the first time I came into, I was listening to, I think it was Full Blast, but he was talking about, they were talking about how he was roasting people for, getting spark, looking at the welder through the camera. It's gonna blind you and shit like that.
That is actually one of my favorites of
Yeah,
you almost blinded me because you showed
yeah.
someone welding on camera.
Or yeah,
Yeah.
your knife sucks because it's got copper in it. It's structurally not sound, or shit like that.
Yeah, I had one. It's in Russian, and no offense to anyone's Russian, but and I've heard this from other YouTubers. Maybe they're just upset over there. I don't get it. But anytime I see a comment that's in Russian, I always like tense up right before I hit the translate button
Because they're
because
talking shit.
a lot of times they're talking shit, especially if it's a long one. Because if it's more than 10 words, it's one of those like 50 they're talking shit.
That's great. I'm sorry, Tyrell. You're trash.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That's good.
Oh, man. So yeah, we'll do YouTube comment of the week next week.
Nice.
Oh.
What was I gonna say? So I had a instance where I had a customer that wanted redwood handles. So I
Mhm.
went scouring, doing some things, and no names here. But I ended up finding some stabilized redwood,
Which
and
looks which can look awesome. Like I've seen stabilized redwood that just looks spectacular.
I have not seen one. So like this was the first time that I had, I was like, oh, so the guy that I made it for was really wanted. That's his thing, redwood. He falls redwood trees down in where he lives, and he makes these really beautiful tables, and he supposedly has a bunch of it. But so I was like, okay, well, let me try to find some. And then he says eventually he wants to have like a set. So I was like, that's going to be kind of stupid because then we would have to buy, try to get them all to match. And I'm like, that's,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever. So, anyways, I go around looking, and I ended up settling for somebody that I had saw on the internet. It was kind of not quite recommended, but so I bought some. And when I got them, these fucking things were like feathers, like light as shit, and again, no expert, just got into the stabilized wood, I guess I just got into everything. So whatever. So I only used a handful of times. I was really using G10 a lot and resins and things like that. Switched over to the wood and they're just awesome, right? A good stabilized handle. They're just gorgeous, right? And then now the louder they are, the better I think they are. The more off the wall, like when I was buying a knife back in the day with my EDCs and Spider Codes and shit like that, I would have never bought anything that had a, you know, super blue and or green or yellow. Like, and now I'm like, I don't even want to make a knife that's not like off the wall, like with a boring handle, right? So, anyways, you get this freaking stabilized redwood and it's super light. It's like nothing like the materials that I've seen. I cut it in half and opened it up, and it's like you could feel it still looks porous. It feels porous. There's like pits in it. So I was like, I had to phone a couple friends. This was a while ago too, but I reached out to Ryan from Hustle and Grind. Which, hey guys, by the way, last week episode was fucking awesome. Like three of my favorite people just hanging
The one
out,
with Brent?
bullshit,
Yeah, yeah,
talking.
yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then I finished the episode, and then I watched the after show or watched it, listened to it, and I was like, dude, that was even better. Like I had to call Brent and I'm like, hey dude, get out of my fucking head. Because like everything they were talking about, Brent's trying to get, start to forge in and all the questions he was asking, it was super cool. So anyways, I reached out to Ryan last week, and then he's like, oh yeah, let's try this, try that. So I did that, and then I ended up calling him on Instagram today, and he answers, and he's got headphones on, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, oh yeah, hey man, we're recording the podcast. And I'm like, dude, you didn't have to answer me right now. He's like, well, we're just doing the after show. But so I think I made a guest spot in the hustle and grind for a minute.
Oh, nice.
It was a trip. I mean, I couldn't hear anybody or anything, but
Oh,
yeah, so we're gonna try to let him do his thing and see if they're salvageable or not, or if I'm just tripping and they're fine, because I'm curious.
I'm losing you here.
I've heard
I'm
of
not
bad
sure if
stabilized stuff, but
it's me or it's you.
I've never actually seen it. And Dennis is gone.
Oh, I'm back. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I just got dropped here.
That was awesome. I was getting ready to monologue so hard.
Make up all kinds of shit. So
Oh my!
I miss. So what did Ryan say about this
Yeah.
stuff? Like,
I'm gonna send him I'm gonna send him the scales. He's gonna try to put them through his thing and see if they're salvageable, or if I'm tripping, if I just don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, and they're fine. And I'm just curious because I guess if
here's
I
my
cared, I would reach out and tell the people, But I'm really not
so
about
here's
that
my
right
question on this. Like, let's say, and maybe you guys that know stabilization can answer this question. Use the new Instagram alias and
now.
tell us.
Triple T podcast.
Yeah. So let's say that you stabilize, or okay, you do a shitty job of stabilizing whatever a piece of wood. So doesn't that mean that like like if the resin is kind of half baked, but now isn't that preventing if you try to do it again? Isn't that going to prevent new resin from getting into spaces because now you've blocked it off? You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I guess there's different methods. There's one that's without the vacuum pressure pot or something, and I guess there's one of the processes is prone to failures than the other,
Hmm.
but again, I'm totally out of my element right
But
now. So
but I would think once you do it once and fuck it up, like you're not going to have good success because you've kind of filled up all the surface, but not gotten anything in the interior. So now you're kind of screwed, aren't you?
so
Maybe
like
I
this
don't.
one, what I did was I put some on a suggestion, I put some mineral oil on one side of it. I had already split it, so open it up. So I put some mineral oil in a couple spots.
To see if it sucked it
One,
up.
yeah, one spot did its thing, and then the rest of it just all gone. Just
Yeah, that's not good.
completely absorbed it all. So maybe if they try, if he tries it again, then we'll fill those spots and
I
the other
see.
parts will
Yeah,
resist
that's
it,
a good
right?
point.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I've seen. I think it's called redwood lace. I don't know if it's a burl, but redwood lace that's been stabilized, and it just looks like tiny little flames everywhere, and it looks really, really stellar. Like I'd like to get some of that.
Yeah.
So I might actually pick some up at Blade Show if I can find it. Um, and it looks really good. So it sucks that that didn't work out for you.
Yeah.
So
And then shit, man, I just had another set of scales completely warp on me. Like they were
stabilized.
stabilized. Yeah. It was weird. I don't, it must have just happened recently, but I had glued liners on and they were kind of just sitting because,
Wow, and they had
things,
liners
things
on them
sit.
too.
They had liners on them and they were
Wow.
mated together. And then when I, was talking to a buddy, I was showing him the wave cutter.
Well, they were
Um,
mating. That's why.
I guess, yeah. they were done. Is that what you're saying?
They were mating. That's what I said.
Someone rolled over. But
Okay,
yeah,
that's a
it's a
bad joke.
trip, dude. I'm with you.
That's bizarre. You should
Yeah,
start buying wood at a creditable place instead of like what's all this half stabilization in the stuff you have,
I don't fucking know,
man.
but I think I don't know. I'm working with that one on the splier there, but yeah, so it was kind of weird. Um,
Yeah.
but the wave cutter,
Oh yeah,
I got
show
it
me.
all. I got it all glued up.
Nice.
Look at that side, dude.
That's some snazzy scales. You guys can't see them, but they are a swirly white and blue, multicolor white and blue, multi-blue. There's multiple colors of blue in there, right? Plus white.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, it's
It
really
looks like
freaky.
water. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool. They're
very
from.
cool.
I got them at from Lawrence at Maritime, and they're voodoo resin. They're fucking so nice, dude. I got it glued up, and I guess I'm out of practice on the glue up because I swear I was meticulously lazy, I guess, because I did not clean it up as good as I thought I did.
Oh no, we got
And then
some leakage.
yeah, and then I'm gonna do a video on it because I'm in trouble because somebody told me about putting the knife in a small vise like this
Uh-huh.
when you're doing the glue up. So it's like
Uh-huh.
another hand, so you can kind of
Mhm.
mate up and use both your hands. And I did that and did the whole thing. Took them inside, put them on a table. I put the fucking a towel under it because I had done this on our granite table in the kitchen island, and I didn't put anything under, and I leaked epoxy all on there. Thankfully, that just came right up, but this was on a wood table, and I missed the table the underneath the paper towel by about 3 inches. The drip off. I had this nice fucking big pile that when I woke up this morning of hardened, epoxy on there, and I'm like, oh my god, she's gonna kill
On
me.
a nice wooden table.
Yeah, Mrs. Eckleblaze is gonna have my ass.
Oh, she doesn't know yet.
She does now, but because she's like, just don't mess with it. And then I took my thicker clipper and I kind of tried to like just get the
Oh, you
top,
should.
and it just fucking like it was so fun. It just sprung. It just came loose, and I have a fucking circle size like this of some scratch paint looking right in the middle of this
Oh,
table,
so someone's refinishing a table in their future. That's all I heard.
Oh, dude, I'm so busted. And there's a real shitty table right next to it, but I didn't put it on it. Like
You know,
one of the fold up ones.
you should go to Walmart and invest in those $5.99 craft things that you put shit on. That got like checkerboard. They're like
I have
six
two of them.
bucks.
They're in the shop though. I take the knives in the house.
Take the plate with you.
Well, there's shit on it, Dennis. Fuck. We all don't have empty benches. I mean, come on.
You
Yeah,
can't
I'm
all
an
be as
idiot.
organized.
I am not. That's for sure. But yeah, yeah, fuck, in trouble.
Oh man,
I could tear the garage up all I want, but inside here is her domain.
my wife, my wife yells at me every single time because I have a sink in the garage, right? That looks like death warmed over because it's full of
Good description.
grinding dust and water, which is now looks like rust. So I don't like washing my hands out there because it's disgusting and you can't see anything. And then I go in the house and I wash my hands in the sink. And then every day my wife yells at me and says, "Stop washing your hands in the sink because everything gets coated in black goo that's sitting in the sink." So I feel you.
Yeah. Well, this isn't coming off. So I'm sorry, honey.
Is she listening?
I doubt it, but I'll tell
Uh,
her.
yeah, I don't think Kim's listening to this podcast, but sorry,
Yeah.
honey.
But yeah, I'm stoked. I routed the handles. That is a fucking. I just got to sand it now, so we're in the home stretch. Sand
How
it.
does so it's basically it's like like Voodoo Resin. It's basically an epoxy, right? Like it's not Kieranite or anything bullshit like that, right?
No, yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
okay.
it's an
So it's a
epoxy resin skin.
resin. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it routers no problem.
it routed beautifully,
Because I think if
and
you did that with Kieranite or something like that, you'd have chips flying across the room.
that's funny you said that because I'm not going to remember the name of it now. Lynn had just bought me some scales for Valentine's Day. They came a little late, so I just got them. And God dang it, I cannot remember the name of them. But I used them on her knife
The
with the
Raffier
copper
stuff?
squirrel. No, I brought the freaking paper because I wanted to talk about it. But
Well,
they're
you're
a
all kinds
resin.
of organized today, aren't you?
It's every day. It's not. This isn't a new thing, but yeah, they're really cool. They finish really really good too. But like the Kiranai and those style things, like I think they look awesome, but I'm not ever going to sell a knife or that's going to be used in some kind of
Yeah,
anything
because
other than a kitchen because
I hear you look at
they're
it wrong,
brittle.
and you certainly don't ever drop the knife or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't get that vibe from this at all.
Yeah,
These
that's
are
good. Well, it's resin; it
completely
should be
different.
fine.
Yeah,
It looks killer. I love it.
yeah, I can't wait. So I buffed I finished the fronts. That's still my favorite part of knife making, I think, right now. Like, because part of the thing is, making the knife, doing everything, but like, obviously every knife needs to be matched with a handle, right?
Hmm.
And another expression of art is, how you choose to, the color scheme and what you want to do. But you never, I never get tired of going, with the jaw dropping once you buff it, and then, like when you see it for the
Absolutely.
first time, dude, it is just
I
fucking mwah.
I saw it today. I was for Blanca, the woman that did her knife today. I I usually pick out the scales just so I can pre-do them, pre-surface
Right.
them, and all that shit. Just because it takes forever sometimes. So I chose to use Brazilian ebony.
Okay.
It's really beautiful wood. It's like kind of brown and dark tones and stripes, and I had never cut into this piece of Brazilian ebony um, to make the scale, but you can't really see it on the scales. And then and I'm telling Blanca, like, wait till you buff it. She's hand sanding it, and it looks nice. And I'm telling her, wait till you buff it. And then she buffs it, and I hear that, like you said, the jaw dropping thing, that ooh, when she starts buffing it, and yeah, it was nice. It looks gorgeous. So I feel you. It is my favorite part as well when you buff that knife and or you do the mineral oil reveal on it, and you know that is definitely the most rewarding part for sure.
Yeah, that and the Damascus etch reveal. I mean,
Yeah.
I probably am guilty of over etching those things because I just love that part. So if I could do it with handles, I would. They are called polyester. knife.
You got an old sweater, an old polyester
I
sweater, and you.
can't, and I'll show them to you next time. I'll bring some, but yeah, I don't know where she gets them from. Someplace on Etsy or something. So, like I said, they're cool to look at, and they're really awesome when you finish them out. But nothing other than something that's going to be used gently.
Nice.
Um, but
What color are
yeah,
they?
they're all kinds. The
Oh,
copper,
okay.
blue, black, and copper. It's like a peacock kind of color of their feather pattern, all that stuff. So that's cool. But I'm fired up. This is almost done. I'm moving on. I did some grinding on another knife that I had done. The legs came in for the Viper chair, the new ones. So I
Right,
put
right.
put that together today, and that's perfect. So the height on it, it's about 2 inches shorter than the lowest. The max height is 2 inches shorter than the lowest setting on the other chair, and it's perfect. So I can go.
Was it
Um,
too high before?
yeah. So it was
Oh,
bottomed out. It was 27 inches, and that was putting me up like I couldn't even wheel up under my desk. So for
okay.
a couple of things in the shop, I have some higher benches, but I just fucking stand, for all the shit that I want to do, the hand sanding and whatever else on my little workbench there. This is great, and that extra fucking white ass is just the business.
The
I do not
sidecars.
regret that at all. I looked down and I was like, I still got some room to grow, so I'm good.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, and
so
your Triple T, great show again. I
good,
loved
good.
it.
Yeah, this is the forging episode.
That's correct.
Yeah, so I was I was really honestly when I was thinking about doing the show, I was really debating, do I want to use just a piece of stock? I had literally had a stock piece of 80 CRV2 in my hand, and I thought, yeah, I should use this. And then I thought, well, it's probably not a total beginner steel, just because of the decarb potential for 80 CRV2 and the heat treat and all that stuff. And I figured, let's pick something, even though I hate it. I hate doing it because it's leaf spring. It takes forever. Let's pick something that a lot of people have or have access to and is easy to heat treat. So that was my theory. But of course, I had to, it's like over 3/8 thick leaf spring that I've got a hand hammer now. So I was not a happy camper doing that, but I got it done.
Yeah. So I thought that stuff was, I mean, it's great. It's good. It's good steel, but my buddy's drives a big rig, and he changed the springs out
Oh,
on
those are
on
like
his
half
truck.
inch thick.
Oh fuck, they're 3 inches wide and about a half inch thick,
Yeah.
and I have two full setups, dude. Like I have enough of that shit that I'll never use it all. And then I was telling Lawrence about it when we were in Maker's Camp a few years ago, and he's like, "Yeah, no, why don't you just use some 1080? It moves a lot better." And
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck that. I'd never forged. I'd never hit anything before. Then now I'm struggling with the 1080. So I believe you, Lawrence. I
Yeah.
believe you.
Yeah. I had my buddy Justin change the leaf springs on his truck. And this is like, whatever it is. I don't know, remember what his truck, big Dodge truck or something like that, but pretty big leaf springs. And at that point, I already had a full set of leaf springs. So I ended up giving away two. I just posted something on the NorCal knife makers group saying, hey, anybody want leaf springs? I have two full sets of leaf springs. And someone came and got them. I forget who it was, but I'm like, take them. You can have them. I still have probably, I don't know, 24 inches of little pieces of leaf spring that I'll use on occasion, but not very often.
Yeah, I kept them because eventually I'll finish the press, but I figured that would be projects for that, just to
Yeah,
move it with the press.
yeah. I mean, it's good for things like, um, you just need a hardened piece of steel. Like I once made, um, shit. Um, why am I spacing on the name? Um, fucking
And
you
I can't
lock your
help you.
knife in it um, to do the file guard,
File guide.
file guide. Thank you. Jeez, that was some brain fart. I made a file guide out of 5160. So at least I had a
Hmm.
hardened file guide long
Hmm.
ago before I bought one. But they're good for stuff like that, or for hardy tools and stuff like if you have a big enough piece.
Yeah, I got to
Yeah.
redo that piece on my on the Miami Vice.
Oh, the
That
spring. I,
the
I've
spring.
I've used exactly that. I've used a piece of
Yeah,
5160 to replace the spring on mine.
yeah.
So yeah, they're good
I
for
got to
that
do
too.
that when I
Yeah,
get my induction forge. I'll do that.
yeah. Actually, a local guy. Now I forget. People send me stuff all the time, and then I put it on the shelf, and then I forget who sent it. I really need to like take a little note and tape it to those things because I forget who gave it to me. But someone gave me, for all you people that watch Gold Rush, like the show,
Okay.
TV show Gold Rush, sent me a piece of spring from one of those shaker decks. And
Oh, okay.
when you watch the show, you don't realize how big the fucking springs are on those things. That piece, and you can tell it's been torched off. It's probably 3 inches long and 2 inches thick.
Wow.
No, it's got to be 2.5 inches thick.
Jeez.
Like those springs are massive. So it's a piece of 5160. At least he told me it's 5160 from a shaker deck from a gold, a gold
Well, if
recovery
he told you,
machine.
it's true. Damn it.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm actually worried about the whole section that's been then cut with a cutoff torch because probably all the carbon's been burned out of that part of it. So I don't know how much of it's usable steel, but it's not like I need. Maybe I'll make a hardy tool or something out of it, but who knows? But yeah, the Triple T was fun. Um, I honestly, I don't spend enough time forging at the anvil. I'm really thankful that I'm doing these intro knife making classes because even yesterday I got to forge a knife, you know, beginning to end. This time forged in the bevels and, put some more time into it besides just forging the profile. But it was good to practice. I mean, I had a good time. So I like the classes for that because I like to demo what I'm doing, not just tell people hit here, hit there. A lot of people learn by watching, so I like to demo, what they're doing, kind of thing.
No, 100%. That's my thing. I hands on, just visually seeing is super helpful for me. So that's cool.
Yeah, but now I got more knives than I half made knives than I know what to do with.
Hey, you're in
So
my shop now.
yeah, I know, right? So I'll get them done.
Speaking of forging, I got a shipping notification that my $100 dog head it should be here tomorrow. I'm fired up from that
Nice.
from Gnome Forge.
All right, so that's going to give you some incentive to get that induction forge all ready.
I
So
don't
you,
I don't need any more incentive because I have this spinny hammer holder of
oh,
awesomeness with
that's right.
that I just keep walking by and spinning and going, one day, sexies will get after you. One day.
We should play a game. We'll use it like one of those spinning wheels. You got to spin
Yeah.
it and then pick the hammer, and that's what you got to use this heat.
I think with this hammer, all of the end pieces will have the the good hammers. My two Cliff Duftons, the Norwood, my two Gnome hammer forged. It's getting good. I remember talking to somebody when I was first thinking about this a while ago, and I'm like, "Hey, I need a recommendation on a hammer." And I think about it now, and their reply was just like, Well, just one, like, that shit. All of a sudden, you just acquire them. And then this guy's selling them for $100, and I told somebody that I'm like, yeah, my new hammer. They're like, do you really need another one? I'm like, yeah, it was only $100. And he's like, only $100? Like, I was like, all right, touche, I get it. The
Hey,
other ones were more. Fuck you.
that's like asking a guy who likes fishing, like, do you really need another fishing rod? Fuck yeah, I do. Of course you do.
Yeah, yeah. I've
Oh
used them
man.
all sporadically, but
Yeah.
it's going down. So I got a question
Speaking.
for you. Oh,
Oh
good.
no,
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 you.
you go. Mine's a big
No.
thing. I don't want to make a big deal out of it, so I'm going to answer your question first.
Well, mine was kind of a segue, so
Uh,
you go
uh,
ahead.
okay. So speaking of hammers, okay, and maybe we don't actually have all the paperwork signed and blah blah blah, but I'm going to announce it anyway. Uh, I am thrilled and crazy surprised that we have our first sponsor for the podcast, which is like blowing my head off. I can't believe anyone would want to sponsor this podcast after only 4 episodes, but buddy Frank Machado at Two Bastards, Smithy. If you don't know Frank, Frank is a hammer maker extraordinaire. I met Frank this weekend last
A year ago,
year,
yeah, I remember
a
that.
year ago at Blade, Texas. And he was walking around wearing a kilt, had like 10 hammers around his waist, was kind of wondering what was holding up his kilt. But but um my buddy Chad goes, oh yeah, you got to meet him. So he introduces us, and I'm like, yeah, I want a straight peen hammer. So I say to Frank, you know, give me your card. Jared's still laughing here.
That's awesome. Okay, all right, I'm good.
So I get his card, whatever, reach out. So whatever. Get to know Frank. He makes a ton of hammers. Frank makes hundreds of hammers a year. He loves doing restorations on hammers. He is just a hammer fanatic. And my go-to hammer now is the straight peen that I got from Frank last year. So Frank reached out to me, wanted to sponsor the show. And I warned him. I said, hey, maybe you want to do short contract, make sure you're getting value, we're getting value, like whatever. So, we talked on the phone for, I think, an hour and a half the other night, just shooting the shit. It was the night before they were heading to Blade, Texas the next morning. So, so they're going to sponsor the show, which I think is great. You'll start to hear reads. We're not reads. We're going to do them live. We got one sponsor. I don't think we need to pre-record stuff. We're just going to talk about them. But if you need a hammer, check out Two Bastards Smithy. I actually got to figure out the exact name. I keep calling it Two Bastards Smithing, but that might not be the exact name. So, Frank, I apologize. I'll get the exact name, but he's going to give me the details and reads and all that kind of stuff. So, happy to have a sponsor. I think that's pretty cool.
That's amazing. Thank you,
Yeah,
Frank.
yeah,
Awesome.
blows me away.
Welcome aboard
Right.
this small
So,
ship.
yeah. And I wouldn't take a sponsor of something that I don't believe in. So I've been using this hammer going on probably about 10 months now. Love it. It's the one in the video that you saw, the Triple T video. The only hammer I used in that video is that straight peen hammer because I love it so much. It hits so well.
I have used it myself. The
Yeah.
straight peen is
A,
awesome.
a straight peen is the cat's ass.
Yeah.
Not to be
Yes, is that a
confused.
thing? Is a cat's ass good, Dennis? What the fuck is a cat's ass?
I guess that's a Canadian thing. That's actually good. Being the cat's ass, that's a good thing.
Okay. So it's
Yeah,
the shiznit. It's
yeah,
good. It's
it's the
dope. It's awesome. It's badass.
maybe
It's a
it's
cat's ass.
the Canadian version is called the cat's ass. Yeah, it's the cat's ass.
Oh, that's awesome.
Come on, my
Cat's
Canadian friends, back me up. It's the cat's ass. It's a good thing.
I
Man.
need to hear if this is a real fucking thing because I'm not wowed. I'm meowed by the fucking cat's ass. Get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Oh, so
stray
yeah,
teens are awesome.
not in a sexual way.
I didn't say anything about that. I'm just saying, good cat's ass. I'm still having a problem with it.
Oh
Oh.
man. Okay, so what was your question? You were going to ask another question, and you were going to do a segue. So I interrupted your big moment.
No, it's hold on here. No, I think we're good. We'll save that one for next time. It was kind of something that I can get you to expound on, but we'll let that go. I think that's great news, Frank. Thank you. Happy, awesome, grateful. Everybody that's been on our side, supporting, doing their thing. You guys are awesome. Thank you. And here
Yeah.
we go.
Dude, I tell you, coming from, the YouTube world and the, Instagram that I'm used to, like I know those things. And coming to this medium, the one thing that is different about podcasting that I'm noticing, I'm not getting that instant, like, are people receiving this? Like, I don't
Yeah.
have that. Like when I post a video, I can see the views. I can see, yeah, I know I can go get the, I got to go look in multiple places to get the count of the downloads, but it's not like I'm seeing comments and I'm getting things on my phone that are pushed to me about how, so I'm not getting the feedback that I'm used to. So I'm like, we're throwing these episodes out into the ether. I have no idea if people are listening to them, but I guess
Dude,
they are.
we stop, we go about our business, and I'll spend the next couple days. That was fucking trash. Everyone is going to hate that. And my self-doubt, negative talk, my blue dog, red dog, whatever, good angel, bad. That guy's just like, meh, 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 meh. So I'm with you, dude. It's a trip. And I'm kind of bummed that I didn't get to do my welcome to the Triple T podcast. And this episode is sponsored by nobody.
Yeah,
Just the kindness of our hearts.
you had 4 episodes to do that. It's over.
Well, I didn't want to be like, hey, look at us, but fuck, man. I totally missed that. So that's what it was, guys. It was supposed to be funny.
Oh,
It was the
yeah.
cat's ass, dude.
The cat's ass. See, you should go Google the cat's ass.
No, I'm just gonna use it forever now.
So
Welcome to the cat's ass.
I'll tell you a story. So my ex-wife's sister, okay, is telling this story about her boyfriend at the time. I guess their landlord, that was some Indian guy, and they were telling him like they were late for the rent or whatever, or something. I forget what the issue was. And Ryan, the guy, goes, well, aren't you just the cat's ass? And the guy goes, I am not the cat's ass. So every time I hear the cat's ass, I could just hear that guy go, I am not the cat's ass.
That's awesome. Because I would be offended too, because I don't fucking get it, but whatever.
Oh, well,
Us people that go to the snow just aren't
right. Yeah,
that.
well, you can't be helped. I don't know what to say.
That's true. I'm helpless.
Well, by the way, we now have the title of this episode, The Cat's Ass.
Damn right. I don't have to get that text now. This is great.
All right. With that, I think we're going to close it off. You ready to dance?
Awesome.
You ready to
I'm
dance?
already dancing right now.
Okay, dance.
Let's go.
Oh, man.
It's not playing in my ears.
What? Get out.
I swear.
Oh, well, it's over. Bye, folks.
That's a wrap.